Alright, today we're going to be playing a Patreon deck from Floor 26 Podcast. Now, I don't know if that's a real podcast or if it's just a name that this person's using or what the deal is. But if it is a real podcast, consider this. They have good enough taste to become one of my Patreon subscribers. So they probably have good taste in what they talk about on their podcast, right? So anyway, this is a rogue deck that plays 3 minions. We've got Anka the Buried, Blatant Decoy, and Malygos. Now you may have figured out that the strategy is to use Anka to discount the Blatant Decoy to 1 mana, and then we kill the Blatant Decoy to pull the Malygos out of our hand. We can do that for as little as 0 mana with Backstab. So we can effectively get a 1 mana Malygos. And then for burn damage, we have 2 Sinister Strike, 2 Eviscerate, and 2 Shiv. On top of the stuff that is killing our opponent with Malygos, we also have a couple Hooked Scimitars and a Deadly Poison. So that's a little bit more damage, and those also help activate our cutting classes, so we can actually draw into the Malygos stuff. Probably the star of this deck is going to be Swindle, which is the reason that we're only playing 3 minions. Swindle can very consistently tutor our Anka, Decoy, or Malygos. And obviously we do need to draw all 3 of those at some point. Another new card that makes a great addition to this deck is going to be Cloak of Shadows. We give our heroes stealth for a turn, so that gives us an extra turn to set up for the Malygos stuff. Maybe like turn 8, Anka plus Cloak. And then we go for the lethal on turn 9 with Malygos, something like that. So yeah, this is a pretty cool deck, and I'm interested to give it a go. Hopefully not a Treant deck, but that probably is the most likely. Mulligan for some card draw. Cloak of Shadows might be nice. Dirty Tricks is really good. My opponent's on the coin, and even without the coin, Druid plays a lot of spells. So the Dirty Tricks is basically 2 mana Arcane Intellect, I would say. No reason to prep out a Shiv quite yet. Swindle. I guess we can prep Swindle and then probably Shiv. Another Dirty Tricks. That'll be nice when this one goes off this turn, right? I mean, he's gonna coin Overgrowth, right? So no, Fungal Fortunes. That's fine. I will take my cards. Candle Breath is not very good right now. Could prep the Candle Breath, but I really want to get Dirty Tricks down. Then I guess I make this Dagger. It gives me something to do with my Deadly Poison. He is Token Druid, it looks like. I mean, the Fungal Fortunes kind of gave it away, but the Blessing of the Ancients made it really obvious. Alright, so I mean, I could just die here if I don't kill any of these. Let's see if I can hit Anka. I think it's fine to just play Anka here. Question is, am I spinning a Backstab? So his damage would be like Savage Roar plus Power of the Wild. I'm dead to that even if I Backstab, right? Actually, I guess I'm not. So Backstab does save me from exactly that. But Backstab is my Blatant Decoy activator currently. Let's see, I Cloak on 6, Cloak on 7. So I'd be trying to kill him on turn 8. Sinister Strike, Eviscerate. Secret Passage is 4. I think I can backstab here, because by the time I'm comboing, like, Brain Freeze is fine as well. Hopefully I don't regret this. It does seem like there was just a very good chance of me dying there, though. He's probably going to let me get in 5 with Anka, which is pretty good for me, I would say. Okay, he's not going to let me get the 5 in. Well, there's another backstab for my Malygos turn. God, this turn. If I go like Deadly Poison, Cloak, that's like all of my mana. So playing the Secret Passage, trying to hit like a Cutting class or something isn't quite good enough.
So many options.
I really need to draw Malygos in the next couple turns. But I'm pretty obligated to play Cloak here.
So many options. Here we go.
This feels like such a bad use of my mana. But like getting the Deadly Poison equipped is good because it makes Cutting class a lot better. If I played the Secret Passage this turn, the only really good hit was like Shiv. More damage for the Malygos. I never Secret Passage, right? The only way that's good is if I hit like Shiv into Malygos. Okay, I hit Malygos. Pretty sure playing this Secret Passage doesn't do anything. So do I have the damage? I have a 1-mana Malygos and then double Eviscerate Sinister Strike is what? 443 is 11? 26? If I can sap his taunt and hit him with a weapon, that's good enough. I believe I have exactly enough mana and damage here. Or no, 1 damage over. We decoy. We backstab.
Here we go.
Nice. Alright, so I've played 6 games with this deck, and I've actually played against 6 different classes. Anyway, in those 6 games I am 3-3, and I've reached a very powerful conclusion. If my opponent is an aggro deck, I fucking die. However, if my opponent is not an aggro deck, they fucking die. So with that in mind, what can we do with this deck? Well, unfortunately, because of the swindly nature of it, it's really hard to add any minions to this deck. They have to be like really, really good minions to justify inclusion. And I can't think of a single minion that would be worth it. Maybe we could justify playing Geppetto, but that seems like adding a middleman that's unnecessary. So yeah, we're looking at, well, I guess first we can look at weapons in the rogue class. Don't want to put an S on that. Yeah, we could play Sphere of Sapience, but it's like kind of bad with hooked scimitars and deadly poison. Maybe if we decide to cut all the weapon stuff, then Sphere of Sapience could be okay. Yeah, it doesn't look like any other weapons are being considered. And I don't see Sphere of Sapience being better than Cutting class anyway. So yeah. Huh, we could maybe play Blade Flurry in the stack. We play the Hooked Scimitars, that's 4 damage AoE for 4. That could be reasonable. But anyway, let's search by spells and just see if there's anything we're missing. We could play like Dragon's Horde or Pilfer, but those sorts of effects kind of just seem like a waste of time. Ambush is a card I was thinking about. It's basically just a 2-drop that we can play. Betrayal could be okay. I'm definitely looking for cards that would help against aggro. A Fan of Knives seems like a card that could be useful against Rogue. Thought about Blade Flurry. Yeah, so not too much to think about. I was kind of hoping to find a draw that's better than Candle Breath. But Candle Breath's not too bad since we swindle into Malygos so often. So we're looking at Blade Flurry, Fan of Knives, Ambush. Seems like those are the only cards worth considering. Maybe like another Deadly Poison. But how many deck slots do we really even have to play around with? Like maybe the Candle Breath. Maybe Brain Freeze, although that makes it harder to use backstabs. Brain Freeze is good against aggro anyway. Sap is questionable. We could maybe cut Shiv for Fan of Knives. Shiv is useful because it can be damaged with Malygos. But lacking damage hasn't really been an issue in any of my games so far. I don't know. This is the first time I've had a Patreon deck where I really just don't feel like changing any cards. Alright, for the sake of content, we'll cut the Shivs for fans and see if that helps against, like, Rogue. But I think this deck might have been perfect.
Valera versus the Thunder King!
I am the slayer of kings and gods.
Watch your back.
I do like Dirty Tricks when my opponent has the coin. Dirty Tricks and Swindle, very nice.
I must ponder. Swiftly.
Guidance, huh? Well, if he gives me something to backstab, it's a good combo activator. Got my 2 cards. Beautiful. Oh, another Swindle. That's particularly good because I have Candle Breath. But this hand is very awkward. I guess I'm Hero Power passing. Ow. 3-mana Fireball with upside? Well, I guess that overloads too. Oh, fuck. Well, Little does this guy know that gives me a combo activator. If I backstab, double swindle, I go down to 5 up to 9. So let's do that. I didn't hit Malygos, which is kind of unfortunate since I do have this Candle Breath. But Anka is a good turn 5, so maybe that's okay. And turn 6, I guess, I'm just gonna Secret Passage for card draw. I think with the rate this guy is laying cards and doing damage and such, I'm probably gonna be favored in this matchup. I guess I do need to pick up some damage for my Malygos as well. Shout out to this Fan of Knives not being a shiv. But I've currently only got 17. I do have a Hooked Scimitar that can deal some damage. I'll probably be fine between Hooked Scimitar and I'll draw into a Sinister Strike or something. Age Match Custodian. Wait, maybe this guy's gonna try to murder me with Doomhammer. That wouldn't be cool. You wouldn't try to murder me with Doomhammer, would you? Okay, Fist of Rodin. Yeah, this guy's fucking dead. Hey, there's the Malygos. Okay. So, what am I doing? I need to find something to kill my Blatant Decoy still. So, let's go for, like, Prep, Hooked Scimitar to dump some cards, and then Candle Breath. Ooh, Sinister Strike is lovely. Well, the opponent's at 19, and if I can get my Malygos out, I have 25. 2, 4, 5... So yeah, if this Fan was still a shiv, I would have lethal next turn. But it's not like I'm really under any pressure at all, so I don't need to kill him next turn. I can Secret Passage, find Cutting Class, I've got Cloaks in the deck still. Of course, Fan of Knives itself draws cards.
Perplexing.
We can find a Backstab or a Brain Freeze.
Swiftly.
That is probably an insane 3-drop for his deck, if I had to guess. I could maybe... Oh, I mean, he's not going to be playing Burn. That armor doesn't do anything. So I'm definitely going Secret Passage here, I think. Pretty much always. I could play Dirty Tricks first. But that just doesn't... It seems like I'm going to overdraw with Dirty Tricks. What can I draw into a Secret Passage? Cutting Class is 0 mana. I guess I can play Fan first. Prep. Prep, Secret Passage. I mean, maybe I need to play that just to get cards out of my hand so I can actually draw with Cutting Class. This is actually so awkward. I have too many cards. I don't want to play that Brain Freeze because I need it to kill my opponent. I need it in my deck. I ended up with 9 cards, right?
I must ponder.
I wasn't even thinking, but I didn't just have lethal without Malygos there, did I? 6, 10, 16, no way, right? That's all fine. My opponent is at 31, which is a big number. This should be good enough, right? Oh, I just have 31 straight up, I think. But even if this wasn't 31, I can Secret Passage, which is like guaranteed to draw me more damage.
Here we go.
Yeah, I had 7 cards in deck, so Secret Passage was like... It would have to miss on both Cutting Classes and Eviscerate, which is just like so unlikely.
Valera versus Liadrin.
My blade burns with holy fire. Watch your back.
I think I'm supposed to keep Anka. And Fan of Knives draws a card. Dirty Tricks is beautiful when the opponent has the coin. Okay. So the first day of school tells me that he's not trying to cheese me. Which is, I don't know if that's better or worse. If he can just curve, like, Hand of a Doll into, Goody 2 shields, that can be hard to deal with. But if he does play Hand of a Doll, I draw 2 cards. So, not too bad.
I cannot wait to read these.
This be our neck of the woods.
This fool. He gave my Fan of Knives something to kill. I mean, it's nice to have 2 preps, but, they currently don't do anything.
Defense is a great defense.
Candle Breath? Sure. Oh, beautiful. Okay, second Swindle is a bit redundant, but... I have Anka, Blatant Decoy, and then I have Swindle for Malygos. Now I just need to draw some damage. Some good old damage. Oh, well. At least you tried, Swindles. At least you tried. Alright, there's some damage. I am pretty far off from having enough, though.
I do love a good study session.
It's gonna be hard to get through all these taunts. So it's gonna be hard to get weapon damage in. I think this cloak is a welcome addition to the hand. How do I play this? Cloak, Scimitar. Next turn is like Cloak, double Swindle.
So many
I don't know, Scimitar, like I said, just doesn't fucking do anything. But like, I don't know, next turn I could go like Deadly Poison on the Scimitar. That would kill the 4/6, and then I could theoretically draw into Sap to push 6 damage.
So many options.
Maybe I just put this here, actually. That way I don't have to waste mana playing Deadly Poison.
Choose soon.
I do have a prep, though. Whatever. I mean, I want to play Deadly Poison for the damage anyway. I don't know. I don't love the attack I made there. Yeah, I have a lot I need to draw into, though. Some combination of Sinister Strikes, Eviscerates, and Sap. I need 3 of the 4 of them. And then I need to draw a backstab or a brain freeze. Okay, there's the backstab. Well, with the second Divine Shield minion, sap is no longer good enough. So, I guess the play is just Cloak, Swindle, Swindle. Okay, Eviscerate. So next turn I have Decoy, Backstab, Eviscerate. Eviscerate is 5. Secret Passage is 6. I guess I would prep in there, so that's only 4 mana. That means I have 4 mana to draw into the Sinister Strikes. I would be able to play double Cutting Class doing that.
I do love a good study
Okay, so I have like a reasonable chance at killing my opponent here. Fan of Knives. I really wish my opponent didn't have 5 Divine Shield minions. This Fan of Knives could have been pretty good. Yeah, looks like we're just going for lethal and probably not hitting it very often. I think I can pretty much play Deadly Poison for free here. I don't think it really affects anything. That's 2 Sinister Strikes. Get fucked. I had mana to play double Cutting Class and Secret Passage, so I had a lot more opportunities to draw if I missed on the Sinister Strikes there. Alright, so I started out 3-3 with this deck, played 3 more games and won all of them, so ended up 6-3. The only change I made was swapping out Shivs for Fan of Knives, and the fans definitely seemed worse. So we're going to revert to the Shivs because Shiv costs less mana and can go face. Both of those things are very relevant in this deck. Yeah. So I kind of hate to do this, but I can't really think of anything I want to change in this deck. The whole swindle with 3 minions things limits our choices a bit. But I think all the card choices make a lot of sense. I was initially kind of skeptical of the weapons, but having cheap cutting classes is really good, and sometimes you need the weapon damage to like compensate for a missing Sinister Strike or something. If I was going to like force a change into the deck, it would probably involve playing Ambush. Just because it's like, you know, a 2-drop we can play, it's pretty good. But there's nothing I really want to cut for it. You could maybe cut Sap, that was probably the card that was least useful. Especially since, like, if you're setting up with Cloak, then your opponent just has time to, like, play a second taunt or whatever, so, like, maybe you cut Sap for Ambush. Or maybe instead of Ambush, it's second Deadly Poison. More damage and more consistency on the cutting classes. I might just like that better. But yeah, I feel like this deck was basically perfectly built to start with. So not a whole lot I can say about it, but it was a lot of fun to play. I didn't think it would be very good, but I ended up going 6-3 with it, and, you know, it was pretty fun.